Here we have Grace from Grace Report, a YouTuber who does commentary in some very substandard ways. Now this, however, she has set the bar so very low for herself. We're going to watch as she does a commentary on a couple from 90 Day Fiancé, Colt and Larissa, and she says something that is so profound, just so analytical and so sensible that I had to share it with you. Get a load of this.
What you should do is take this as a sign that it's time to cut your losses and go back home once all of this legal drama is cleared up, because being an American citizen is not worth being abused whatsoever. I 100% believe her story, and I don't think that any of Colt's explanations add up. He claimed that she's got anxiety and depression, but that doesn't really have much to do with domestic violence that I know of. I've never really heard of a link between those things. He claimed that she's got anxiety and depression, but that doesn't really have much to do with domestic violence that I know of. I've never really heard of a link between those things. And he admitted.
Now, just in case you missed it, we're going to watch this one more time.
He claimed that she's got anxiety and depression, but that doesn't really have much to do with domestic violence that I know of. I've never really heard of a link between those things. And he...
She fucking just said that. She fucking actually believes that. She's telling her viewers this shit. Is she the most uneducated, stupid, retarded bitch on YouTube? I'm thinking so. Let me point some interesting facts out for you all, just so you can have the correct information, because I, as Chloe Clive, care very much about you guys having accurate information, especially those of you viewers out there who may be in a domestic situation and would not want you to listen to a fucking syllable this bitch says. Let me help you out with the facts. Clearly, you can see here from Elements Behavioral Health down in Florida that domestic violence and depression is and has been and always will be a part of one another. This article's from June 20th of 2013. It's clear that being the victim of violence plays a role in a woman's mental well-being. The negative effects is strong enough that at least one researcher refers to domestic violence as the hidden epidemic linked to mental health conditions. Women who are in violent relationships have nearly twice the risk of depression, according to a review of studies examining more than 36,000 people. In addition to the stress of abuse itself, other factors may contribute to depression symptoms in victimized women. For instance, the severity of abuse has been linked to the severity of the depression symptoms. It is now generally recognized that experiencing domestic violence and abuse is associated with mental health problems, including anxiety and depression. These issues can make the abusive situation even worse. Most of the women that were interviewed for this particular study suffered from anxiety and depression at some stage. Many had been medicated to treat their depression, and a few had actually needed to be sectioned for their mental health. And often, it's the emotional component of domestic violence that leads to a chronic state of PTSD, also known as post-traumatic stress disorder. Take it from somebody who has personal experience with this issue. Being abused by somebody who should be trustworthy and nurturing leads many women to feel abandoned, betrayed, anxious, depressed. So Grace Report. Depression is by far the most common symptom of domestic violence, and it is also one of the chronic effects of PTSD caused by abuse. The feeling of helplessness and hopelessness that many victims fall prey to has a profoundly undermining effect on their mental and emotional well-being. Now, the whole point of me making this video is that if you or somebody you know is a victim of domestic violence, remember that your computer can be monitored and it's impossible to completely clear. If you're afraid of your internet usage being monitored, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. There's always a human who cares. There is a better life for you, and if you are scared, You are not alone.
Isolating someone is literally a form of abuse, and manipulation is not new in these streets, so I really don't know what to say other than it must be painful to be Larissa in this moment, already alone, sad, cut off from communication, and cut off from money as well. And now on top of that, you've got legal issues that could impact you for the rest of your life.
All right, you guys, I literally can't take any more of this Grace report. Stay tuned for the next video.
Hold up.